Yeah, now the 90s really was an era of technical scaling issues yet to be addressed, where everything was very ad hoc. And it's not like, you really can't break YouTube or Facebook today. But a lot of these things were a specific machine sitting in a specific office with a specific network connection. And it was a time where everybody would find it's like, oh, Doom blew this up or Slashdot blew this other thing up, and finding all of those things. We're in an era standing on the shoulders of giants now. The fact that you can just drop worldwide releases that literally a billion people can get now. But there was a lot of learning along the way.
Especially about networking, because that was when people first started getting network hardware at home and learning how it even worked. And with Doom supporting IPX on a local area network, that made a lot of people learn a lot of stuff pretty quickly.
I'm glad you mentioned networking, because that brought me to a question I wanted to ask. We'll jump ahead here a little bit. Obviously, Doom influenced many players to learn how to network their computers together to play deathmatch. That was a very new thing, but you couldn't have known at the time that you were releasing not only one of the greatest games ever, one of the most influential, but there are a lot of people who, by playing Doom and learning how to network, that encouraged them to enter careers in game development and other IT fields. I was wondering, we'll start with John Carmack. When was the first time you realized that Doom in particular was influencing people beyond just, hey, I love this game and I love playing this game?
So yeah, like you say, the networking was something where Doom encouraged a lot of people to figure out the hardware things, figure out how to upgrade their hardware, get the extra things installed, and then especially the networking, where we had only had a couple years of going through from the earliest super janky networks. We had like parallel port network adapter things, and we were trying to do things in the very earliest days, and then finally getting the thin net coax Ethernet system set up. It really was early days. And a lot of people did wind up in sort of network administration posts and wiring up, became the network guy in their office. And many offices wound up having, a suspect business case put forward for why they all needed networks shortly after Doom came out. And, it was interesting to contrast with, I think Quake led a lot more people into software development careers, where that level of programmability kind of launched a lot of game dev careers, but Doom launched a lot of kind of like IT professional careers.
Yeah, I've heard that so many times. People saying, I got a job because of Doom. I had to learn how to network the computers and install the drivers and everything. And I meet those people at tech conferences nowadays. Like We Are Developers in Berlin. There's so many people there, and so many of them got their start because they needed to play Doom networked because it was cooler than a modem.
Before I start the video, I just wanted to update, give an update on what I've been doing recently. I've been actually putting these wall scrolls up recently, just to open up the setup a little bit more, put some stuff in the background. And just cleaning up some stuff like this, putting a little piece of paper so that way the feet on the one of the feet here rest on that, and it evens the keyboard out. And I actually got this bought this years ago, and it's still going well. Still like it. Gonna show off. Got a Ren Goku wall scroll. Locally. Princess Mononoke. Another Demon Slayer wall scroll. And Link from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This one I originally wanted to get for my brother-in-law for Christmas, but I decided to hang on to it because it's like, screw it. I like it way too much. and it just fits perfectly up here. And all 4 of these were like $80 total. $20, $20, $20, $20. I paid a pretty good amount of money for them. And then I got this little figurine to put in the background. And this is a character from One Piece. I've never watched One Piece, and I don't really care to watch One Piece. And so you can see I've got some stuff, my drives for this laptop. You can see that I have a mouse pad, and yeah, it's kind of, the setup is over here is still good, and I'm currently editing the video, as you see, because this is the very video that you will be seeing shortly. Of course, I bought a new pair of headphones, a new Bluetooth set of headphones recently, about a month ago. So that way I have like a better set of headphones. And then I moved this wall scroll from over there, because that is where it originally was. As you can see in the earlier videos, and I moved it over here, just so that way I could have this in the background. And I've got another wall scroll that I will be putting up here at some point. It is something that I've had for years at this point. I just had to do some repair work on it because someone used a shoestring to hold it up rather than get hooks. But it was kind of the thing, but it was sort of the things, but it was one of those things of which we used to do back in the early 2000s. And up here is a mess. I really want to work on turning this into an altar, and this, instead of having all these books here, this would be an altar. And I will explain at some point what kind of altar. And I still have to do some work. Got a laptop that I'm just going to take over to like a thrift store and just give it over to the thrift store, because you know what, it's a heck of a lot easier to just donate stuff than it is to just send it to people over shipping. And to be honest, I just don't want to go through. I'm going through and just organizing this, making it look better, and it's just been sitting there for months. I have to redust all this again, and that's fine. You know, might as well just take all this stuff off and redust it, because you know it doesn't look good. Oh look, heat sinks. Yeah, make very good paperweights. And without further ado, let's play the video. Let's get to the video. And oh yeah, this system, I will be showing the system off at some point. I just have to get a new power supply, and we'll take a look at it, what I've done with it, what I built it. So, for a video at some point. But it's been a year. It's been a year since I wanted to do a video on this system, but unfortunately, you know, money is a big constraint. So, you have to really think about that. If you're probably wondering what John Carmack was talking about, ooh, Pentium. Top at the Pentiums, baby. Dun, 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 dun. It's all about the Pentiums, baby. It's all about the Pentiums. It's about the Pentiums. Whoa. If you're probably wondering what John Carmack is talking about IOQs and about IOQ and setting Doom up, I happen to have the original DOS version Doom on here, along with the Boom source port. And is that IPX? I think that's the IPX Doom. I don't know where IPX Doom is. I think that might be Boom. And in fact, probably is Boom. Because how you would set up IPX Doom, and then we got IPX setup, which is part of, I believe, part of Ultimate Doom. So let's go here. So this is this is basically you had to have all your sound hardware set up properly, or your network hardware set up properly. And this is one of those things where you needed to know what the heck your setup was. So you needed to know what your select port 220. So it's 220 setup. You need to know what the sound hardware and music hardware 227, IRQ 7, DMA 1, mix 3. So you actually had to know all that kind of crap. And if you wanted to do networking, that was a different story. So that's kind of show run. So let's show off. You had to know things like IPX, modem, serial, and then choose your mode, or you had to know all that stuff. And mind you, this was before things like Windows 95, which made that crap a heck of a lot easier in terms of games. Like games like Quake, for instance, which I'll load Quake here. Games like this. See if we've got Quake in here somewhere. Actually, we don't even need to do this. So I have Quake right here. Yeah, with Quake, you can do like OpenGL or software render. But this is going to be WinQuake, or specifically WinQuake, that will load. And you can also do TCP/IP, the new TCP/IP protocol on Windows 95, which, that was a big deal. And so what Quake did is that Quake made this a hell of a lot easier. There's chunky graphics from the 90s. And so what we can see, all that was made a hell of a lot easier. You could do TCP/IP, IPX. The original, you could only do IPX. But this, you can do TCP/IP, and it's cool. And I think I have Windows 95 set up for TCP/IP on this laptop. But that's cool. So the network integration, as opposed to, and I'll show you how Doom. I'll show you what Doom looks like. Show you what Doom looks like. You didn't have that kind of network integration into things like Doom. Because I'll show you. Like Doom. And you also had like crappy MIDI music as opposed to Quake's music, which was Redbook audio. So one of the cool things about this is you can see the graphical differences between Quake and Doom are just a mile, are just very different. And this is really cool. And this is one of the cool aspects about games and stuff. Just the leap of forward in technology. Now, we don't even have like a multiplayer menu here. We don't even have a multiplayer menu. And you can see how not as integrated this is, and how not so integrated things were back in those times. And so the next video will be me on my will be on a newer laptop. God, this display. Oh, freaking hell. Old LCD displays are just. Ugh. I mean, back in the day, back then it was a different story. But nowadays, it's like, ugh. It's not as good as like the OLED displays. Like the laptop over there has that sitting on top of that tower has an OLED, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good display, and I actually quite like it. And I want to show you something really kind of funny about old computers from back then. You can see Magic Graph, which is the graphical chip, which is also what handles the sound stuff. But this chip has like a 2 megabyte chipset, which is really interesting. God, 2 megs. And nowadays we have like 4 gigabytes worth of video RAM on laptops and desktops. Jesus Christ. We've progressed in technology. God bless us. So the next video I will be talking about is Doom's legacy in terms of the source ports. And although I can do that on this laptop and show off some of the source ports on here, like Boom, I have Boom and ZDoom on here. I thought that would be a lot more interesting to talk about some of the other source ports that grew out of like Boom and ZDoom in the next part of the video, that is. Yeah, night. And so now I'm going to show you guys Doom's legacy. So we have here the begin. So we have here that I'm on Windows. I'm on Windows 11, as you can see, and the specs are significantly more up the ante, as this as this system also is as that other system that I showed off, that a gateway Solo 2500 laptop had a 200 megahertz core 2 not core 2 200 megahertz Pentium MMX Pentium with MMX technology processor. This laptop has something significant. This system has something significantly more powerful. So, you know, and it also has like a newer NVIDIA graphics chip. I mean, I would highly recommend people just go for like the system that I'm using to demonstrate this anyway. Which I usually use for recording. So when I'm doing recording work, this has something far more significant and newer. So we got Doom here. So this is something called ZDoom Launcher or ZDL, and this is actually a more modern way of loading the game. So we have like Crispy Doom, which is a source port. Wolf, another one, and GZDoom. Let's start with Wolf, and we also have like a music pack here. Wolf is that's based on Wolf is based on Marine's Best Friend, which was in turn based on Boom. And Boom is that source port that you saw in the Doom folder on the other system. So let's just load. now, as you can see, there, the source, as you can see there, that is one of the source ports one of the neat things with this source port, like with Boom, is that you can have some of the status bars be colored different depending upon what you're using. And one of the nice things about this thing is you can set this up for like deathmatch. So if you wanted to play a deathmatch, you can play like Z Dame, something like Z Dame, and I'll download Z Dame and demonstrate that. So let's see if I can figure out how to set this. I think I have to run Z Dame. That's not it. Log into. I think I've got a. Might be able to do login. And I got ZDaemon working, so I'm going to just launch it this way. And we can just log in here. And then there you go. Now this will allow you to play. What this does is it makes the whole multiplayer process a heck of a lot easier for like Doom, and it's really cool. Like this is one way to make it a lot easier, and I've not really been able to make a video like this before demonstrating some stuff, and I didn't really show off how the multiplayer, how the networking stuff worked with the original Doom, because that's rather complicated. I mean, the sound stuff kind of gives you an idea of how complicated that stuff is, and this will give us an idea of what. Let's load a game up. Let's see if we can find a server with people on it. Maybe not. But we can find like different types of games. Try something like Otamax or something. Try something like Otamax. A lot of Doom 2. But I think something like Otamax will be a much better. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, that's weird. Oh well, I'm not gonna worry about that. But I'll try something out like Otamax, because I have like downloaded Otamax here, so let's try that out. Otamax, yeah, that's what you'll have to do. Install for all users. I don't really care. Otamax, why not? So Otamax is something similar to ZDaemon. No, ZDaemon. And there's probably more people playing this than. So let's try that. And this is actually kind of cool. At least we found someone playing this. No, we don't even have to log in. Let's refresh. Refresh all servers. We got some more servers here. But this is actually another server client. Let's just load a let's just load a server. Which this I believe is a ZDoom based client as well. whatnot. Oh, yeah, it is free. Free deathmatch, free Doom deathmatch. It's interesting. Let's try. Oh, someone's doing cooperative. Yeah, I believe this is based on Z Doom, but that's really interesting. Someone had free Doom in there. Let's try and find something based on Plutonia 2. Oh, interesting. Let's try something based on. Try that. So this also downloads like custom WADs and whatnot. Kind of cool, isn't it? And things like Otimex, which you can hear the MIDI, and this is not as good in my opinion. Like this is one way to do multiplayer. Another way to do multiplayer would be to use the original DOS version, which I think. I don't have it on here. I don't know if I have it on here. I think I do. I think I do happen to have the original DOS versions on here. Yeah, I do. I actually have them in here. This is ZDoom. So I'm going to download something called Classic Game Arena. And Classic Gaming Arena is really cool because what that allows us to do, you can even run this on Windows 7, not Windows, like older versions of Windows, which is really nice. If only there was a Linux. This is the server. It's not what I wanted. This is what I actually wanted. This is the client. But you can run like all sorts of old versions of Doom, older Doom games. And what this makes it is this is what makes the DOS version a lot easier to use. I'm sure most people use this to play the game. So let's install Classic Game Arena for all users. I haven't had this on the system in a while. And this is a really cool utility that allows us to play like older games in DOS. And this I believe has DOSBox staging as opposed to old. I think I've got my account. Same deal as before. I don't want you to know. Yep, just figured it out. So yeah, we can actually play some games. So let's configure. So the first thing I would do is update my game list. Wait a minute. Let's update. We're going to configure. Going to configure games. Manual. Use game path. Go to like this. to get like all those games here. So let's try looking at the lobby and update. Death Valley. Let's try we can see Open Rift in there, but is that on? Let's just go. Let's try booting a game up. But this is also another way of doing the DOS stuff. So I thought, why not show off another one? Why not just show off the last thing I'm going to talk about? And that is ZDoom. Now, what ZDoom, or GZDoom, to be more precise, and the differences between that. It's kind of cool. So it has a stock HUD that ZDoom has a stock Doom HUD. This is very different about. So they have a little more I've actually done videos on source codes before, talking a little bit more about them. I don't really know about that. In fact, we can actually compare it to like Wolf, which are going to be the two source ports you're really going to use. Actually, it's setting. Let's see. You've also got that SC55 as opposed to that crappy video that we put in the other. I hope you hear. So, what would be the best way I would play it? Either the original DOS version, or I would play it with well, I would just play it on Wolf. But if multiplayer, I might use either ZDM and Otimex or Classic Game Arena, which, I mean, Classic Game Arena is great. Now I can actually partake in that with friends in the DOSBox Deathmatch Club, which you can find a link in the description. And until next time, peace out, everyone.